What's the purpose of that meeting?
Well, it's interesting because we don't know what they discussed, although the president took to social media to talk about the growth in Nvidia shares and the $4 trillion milestone. What was interesting is earlier this week, Jensen Huang went on MSNBC, and in the course of that interview, he made the argument that the American technology stack, in which Nvidia currently holds a monopoly in the market for AI chips, is akin to the US dollar, right? The US dollar is the world's reserve currency. And the message that he was kind of putting out was, we want our technology to be the world's technology reserve, and therefore China needs to have access to it. And he's kind of been consistent on that, John. It's not a matter of tariffs or penalties. It's an issue of export control. And he has basically consistently said 50% of the research and researchers focused on AI are from or in China. And it's better they have our tech than their own tech if we want to stay in control of this field.
Ed, any sign whatsoever that that argument is actually resonating with this White House?
So there's reports that Nvidia has decided to proceed with a specific designed for China chip that may come in September. The situation was that they required a license for their existing China chip. They decided not to pursue that license. And what Jensen Huang told me, if you remember, is you can't engineer any more performance out of these things unless you start from the ground up. Nvidia has not officially confirmed that. Jensen Huang regularly goes to China. They have many employees in China, but it is notable, our reporting, that he's going to meet with the Commerce Ministry. And, one would imagine, and based on like a lot of the conversations I've had with big investors as well, that Jensen is very fixed on this idea that they're an American company that conforms with American laws. I'd suggest that in that conversation with the president, he would say that, but also knows he has to go to China and get something out of it, reassure customers that basically have had their access to that technology cut off.
Just before you go, one final question, different company, similar theme, Apple. This came from Lightshed's Walter Piecyk. He's going to join us later this hour. AI will reshape industries across the global economy. Apple risks becoming one of its casualties, and he's raising questions about the future of Tim Cook. What would you like to know from Walt later on this morning?
Well, I'd ask him who on earth would replace Tim Cook. The short list of candidates for that role is very interesting. Mark Gurman reports all the time, right, about the change in unit leaders and lieutenants, but the CEO is a different thing. The reporting on this new lineup of devices next spring is really interesting. It's very analogous to Tesla. The future may be AI, but in the near term, the bread and butter of revenue growth is in refresh of devices. And quite clearly, they're being aggressive, based on Mark's reporting, to get more out there into the world at various price points and continue getting people to have Apple products in their hands so that when AI does come, they'll be able to use it somehow. But on the CEO question, ask him who. I'd love to build a short list.